Hello and welcome once again to my hard Brexit scenario on Football Manager 2020, where we take a look at the hard Brexit scenario where the UK has left UEFA and has to find their own way of getting tournaments done with the Champions League and whatnot. But don't worry, we're still part of FIFA because we can still qualify for the World Cup. And I'm rambling now, so let's get on with and see what's happened in the world of football on this game. We've skipped forward a couple of months. It's the 1st of November, and well, first things first, let's have a look at the draw for the Club World Cup, the new form Club World Cup, not the actual new form World Cup, the new form Club World Cup, which is still yearly, still in December, but instead it's 12 teams, 3 groups of 4. And how has the draw gone for that? If you're wondering why it's now in the international section instead of the club section, it's because I've done it via international rules. Because originally I wanted it to be every 4 years, but doesn't matter. Let's have a look at that. So the draw is Group 1 has Al Kuwa Al Jiwa, Chelsea, Okayama FC, and Tigres. Group B, ES Tunis, Hiengenespor, I don't know how you pronounce that, Liverpool and River Plate. And in Group C, ATP, one of the Brazilian teams, Man City, Spurs and Zamalek. Now you might think, why is there 4 English sides in there? Well, what I did was put in the Champions League winners and runners-up, the Europa League winners, the Brexit Champions League winners, who has been automatically set as Man City for the first season, just so we could have a team in this, Copa Libertadores winners, Copa Sudamericana winners, African Champions League, African Confederations Cup, Asian Champions League, Asian Confederations Cup, or the AFC Cup in real life, North American Champions League, and Oceanian Champions League. So that is Liverpool and Spurs are the Champions League and winners and runners-up, Chelsea Europa League winners, Man City down as the Brexit Champions League winners. Anyway, that's enough boring you with that. Portugal are hosting it, and we'll find out what happened in that on the next edition when I skip forward a couple more months. Now, a couple of tournaments have already finished. The North American Gold Cup was actually happening when we started. I just didn't get a chance to look at it, where we had Canada were hosting, and Mexico were the winners, beating Honduras in the final. If we take a look at the group stage first, see who was in it, I'd say those are pretty much who you'd expect to win each group. We'll go through. Maybe El Salvador, I don't know. Nicaragua, actually, they're not normally a big club over there, are they? I don't know. In the quarters, it went like that. And big win for Jamaica. Semis, Mexico got the 4-0 win. And in the final, I've seen the result of this and it's quite funny. 7-0 to Mexico against Honduras. So a big win for Mexico in the final of the North American Gold Cup. Next, the other tournament that's finished is the Confederations Cup. Now, the Confederations Cup is different on this. it's the CONIFA World Football Cup, the World Cup for teams that aren't members of FIFA. So basically the 16 teams that I didn't use for the British territories entered this one, where it was hosted by St Barthélemy, and Martinique won it. Don't go to that way. I'll just quickly run through the group run through the rounds. You probably don't know half these teams. Crimea, you can't even look at them because they're so not on the game, but yeah, all these ones aren't members of FIFA. St Martin would also be in there, but I used them for the British territories, which is why they've got a French flag instead of a British one. There's the quarters. No one really cares, I'm guessing, because no one really knows them. I suppose semis. Sorry, there's the semis, and there's the final. 3-0 to Martinique against Bonaire in the final. Woohoo! And one of the actual British tournaments is finished as well in the British territories. The British Antarctic Football Tournament. I set that to be only take part in the summer because it's Antarctica. It's winter all year round. So obviously it's not real, but for those who wanted to know, in the group stage, when it loads, the Blues and the Greens went through to the final, where the Reds and the Yellows didn't make it out. So that's the Sky Blue Blues and Halley Greens. And then the Blues won in the final in Jersey, apparently. at the Springfield Stadium. There's only 2 actual stadiums in the British territories. One's in Guernsey, one's in Jersey. And apparently the Jersey one is the bigger of the 2. So on with the actual game. Let's take a look at the Brexit Champions League. We're a few more games in now. We'll see who is making headway. See if Liverpool have won any more matches by 20 odd goals. When it loads, there we go. So 7 match days in, and Celtic lead the way. Again, ahead of Nottingham Forest, Falkirk and Truro. Kicks United down there, getting absolutely mullered every game pretty much. Did score a goal against Falkirk, so well done to them. Sheffield United atop of Group B, and they're at the bottom there. I'll give Aberystwyth not doing too badly. Newcastle top of Group C. They've improved. They may not have got the big win over Ideal, but they have improved. Let's see. Only 3-0 in the second game, but they were home that game. Leicester lead Group D ahead of St Johnstone. Group E is led by Burnley. Norwich are top of Group F, and if we see there, Pitcairn Island from the British territories. Yeah, they're getting smashed every game, even by the team from Bermuda there. Moving down, Man United, a draw for Man U. Man U drew with Southend. Is that not the most Man U thing that could have happened this season, really? And Jersey Bills bottom of that group. Group H, Chelsea leading the way. They've drawn. Who with? Derby County 1-1. Lampard drawing with his former club. Group I, Aston Villa lead the way. 6 wins out of 6. 1 love at the bottom there. Not doing as well. Man City top Group J. Only 17 goals for Man City. Pretty much every game 3-0 except for the last one against Dundee United. Group K, Liverpool, 35 goals in 6 wins, and they've kept it relatively tame since the 17-0 win over Diego Garcia, who have conceded 41 themselves, including 8 against Cardiff, 17 against Liverpool, and then another 5 against Liverpool. So at least they don't have to play Liverpool again. Group L, Stoke are top. Group M, Brighton lead the way. Group N, Swansea are leading it as well. Group O, Bournemouth, top of the league, with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the Falkland Islands. Now, according to Wikipedia, that's an actual team in the Falkland Islands, so I didn't just make them up. There are some silly named teams in the Falkland Islands, apparently. Then, Group P, Reading, top of the group, ahead of Watford. And Group Q, Southampton leading the way. Now, those top teams, they will all go through if they stay as they are, and then the 15 best runners-up, so 2 of the runners-up do not make it through to the second round. And that's the same situation in the Empire League. And we'll take a quick flick through that when it loads. There we go. So, remember that Man U and Man City are in it for this tournament only. It's just because the not the Falkland Islands, Gibraltar apparently won't let their champions and runners-up go into this tournament, into the tournaments for the first season. Not sure why. It's quite annoying because it means Man City and Man U could win both trophies, and we don't want that, do we? So Colchester top of Group A, Exeter Group B. Preston have already qualified in Group C. With they've only got 1 match left to play. There's 10 match days overall, I believe, but obviously teams miss out on 2 of them because it's uneven groups. Something like that, I don't know. Man United obviously top of their group because the runners up in each one, you're going to get some crappy teams at some point. Ayr United surprisingly top in Group E. Group F we got Wolves. Group G, Cambridge. Group H, Inverness, Caledonian Thistle. Man City already qualified in Group I. Group J, Hamilton Academicals. Group K, Portsmouth. We've got Hearts in Group L. Middlesbrough top of Group M. Rangers top of Group N. O is led by Everton. Tottenham have already qualified in Group P with, well, face it, look at the rest of that group. Portadown, Brackley Town, Pennybont and Falmouth. So that's not exactly a difficult group for Spurs, and they've still got 2 games left to play. So better than Preston, and Crawley atop of the other group there. So that's That's the Empire League. Cup Winners' Cup, as we know, doesn't start till January, so we'll cover that in a couple of episodes' time. Now, looking at other ones to... what else to cover on this one? The Real Champions League. How's that one going so far? They play less games in that tournament, and when it loads, there we go. We've already got some qualifiers there, as we can see. So Juventus, or Zero, whatever you want to call them, and Shakhtar Donetsk qualifying from Group A there, and Copenhagen, Leipzig there, Bayern Munich and Lyon obviously running the roost in that group. Karabakh and Slovan Bratislava are leading the group of crap. Real Madrid qualified already. We kind of predicted that in the last edition, didn't we? Them and Cluj currently in the qualifying spots. In fact, Cluj could probably qualify in the next game, looking at that kind of scoreline, or the points tallies there. Napoli and Benfica, Atletico Madrid and PSG already through, and Bayer Leverkusen and Barcelona in the other groups. And in the Europa League, Wolfsburg already qualifying there. If we just scroll down, won't bother reading through all of them. Roma already qualified. Partizan Belgrade and Eintracht Frankfurt already qualified. And Sevilla already qualified for the next round. And final, no, don't need to go there. And then in Euro Cup 2, do we have any already qualified in the tournament of not as good teams? Moreirense of Portugal have already qualified, as have Marseille and Athletic Bilbao. So two of the more obvious ones, and well, I'd say the Portuguese team would probably be an obvious one, although they're ahead of Werder Bremen at the moment, which is not bad. Werder Bremen are decent, kinda. So if we move on to, let's go and have a look at the Scottish ones, have a quick flick through these the other ones, and then stop at Glasgow and see how far ahead Celtic and Rangers are. So Dundee lead the way in Angus. Boom. Ayr atop of Ayrshire, ahead of Kilmarnock, but Kilmarnock have 2 games in hand. Did click the button, didn't I? Ah, there we go. Falkirk top of Central Scotland, although Stenhousemuir 4 points behind. Not that Falkirk are probably going to let that lead go, really. Dumfries and Galloway is led by Queen of the South, and in Fife, Dunfermline are top still. Glasgow, still Celtic and Rangers have not reached the summit yet. In fact, in fact, Rangers, where are they? There we are, 7. So they've got several games in hand. In hand of Partick Thistle, and both still have 100% records. 6-0 wins there, a couple of Celtic haven't bettered the 7-0 over Rob Roy from the last edition, but still 100% record, 8 wins out of 8. So they're a little far behind. They've got 6 games in hand over top of the league Partick Thistle, who lost to Rangers, so they've lost their 100% record, and as have Dumbarton. So hopefully the league will even itself out eventually, and we'll probably see Celtic and Rangers at the top of the league until they play each other. When do they play each other, in fact? Let's have a quick look and see when they play each other. They play each other in 6 days' time on this game, in fact, at Celtic Park, so that could be a title decider at the start of the season. You never know. Anyway, flicking through Grampian, for Martin United still top of there, so Aberdeen still got several games in hand. Inverness, Caledonian Thistle top of the Highland and Islands Premiership. Lanarkshire is led by Airdrie United, with Motherwell with a few games in hand like the others. Edinburgh City atop of Lothian, with Hearts and Hibs not too far behind. They've only got 1 game in hand and are only 3 points behind. By some chance, is that draw against each other? Yes, it is. In Perthshire, St Johnstone are obviously top of the table there by some margin, and they will probably be there for the rest of the season, seeing as they are, well, way better than the rest of the league. In Renfrewshire, Morton atop with St Mirren just behind, and in the Scottish Borders, it's still Garliff Airedene Rovers. Over to Wales. Oh no. See where they are in the cup, sorry. Oh no, we'll have a look at these. Pause if you want to have a look, but we'll just flick through them quickly. In the Scottish Cup, they've reached the 4th round. Might be a bit easier to see the bigger teams. Hibs are playing Port Glasgow. Hearts are playing East Kilbride. Where are the other teams? Rangers have got Stirling University. Aberdeen are playing Broughty Athletic. And where are Celtic? Unless they're out already. I doubt they are, though. I didn't see them. Oh no, there they are. They're two of our Rangers. They're playing Turf United. So that's what's happening there. Angus League Cup. They're starting to look like actual rounds now, aren't they? As we reach the other things in the Central Scotland Cup. That's how the group stage looks. Pause if you want to have a proper look. Dumfries and Galloway, they're reaching the quarterfinals. Fife still in the group stage there. Glasgow. In fact, they're almost on the third round. Celtic have got Dumbarton to beat, and Rangers have got Queen's Park to beat. No doubt they'll probably beat them. Grampian, there's the third round draw for them. Highland Islands, there's the third round draw. Quarterfinals for Lanarkshire. Motherwell still have to beat Gart Cairn though to make it there. Lothian, we're in there. Semi-finals already for Perthshire, but there's only 3 rounds, and one of them gets a bite of the semis. St Johnstone, probably no doubt about to beat Blair Grattery. In Renfrewshire, they're on the quarterfinals and the Scottish Borders. It's group stage. Right, on to Wales. Actually on to Wales this time. Quick flick through these next ones until we get to Cardiff and Swansea's leagues. So Colwyn Bay ahead of Wrexham by 1 point, but Wrexham have 3 games in hand. Carmarthen are top of the Dyfed Premier, and Gwent is led by Newport County. Gwynedd has Clanberis still at the top ahead of Portmaddock on goal difference. Mid Glamorgan is led by Aberdare, and Powys we have Guilsfield top by 1 point. South Glamorgan, Cardiff are top of the league despite their commitments in other tournaments. They are top by 2 points ahead of Barry. And in West Glamorgan, Swansea, they have still got several games in hand, however, and are still holding a 100% record, while Ports Harbour holds their spot at the top, even though they have Swansea have 6 games in hand over them. On to the Clwyd Championship, and then, stop, pause it if you want to have a proper look. Quick flick through, Fordham there, yeah, West Glamorgan, Clwyd, all those Clwyd divisions, Gwent, Gwynedd, Mid Glamorgan, West Glamorgan. There's a lot of divisions in Wales. Clwyd, Dyfed, Gwent, Clwyd, all those Clwyd divisions. In the Welsh Cup, they're on to the 4th round, but there's as I said on the last edition, there's a lot more teams in Wales, so it'll be a lot harder to pick out the random ones. We'll take a proper look later on in the tournaments. In the Clwyd League Cup, they're getting there. They're at least on 1 page now in Clwyd, and in Dyfed, same. And in Gwent, there's quite a few teams in these divisions, as we know. 3rd round, Gwynedd, where there's less teams apparently, and in Mid Glamorgan, Powys, South Glamorgan, we can see who Cardiff have got there, Grange Quins. And in the West Glamorgan one, Swansea play Blenheim. And there we go, on to England. And we're already 20 minutes in, so won't hold up too much, or might stretch it for another 5 minutes, who knows. Luton lead the Bedfordshire League as before. Berkshire is led by Reading, as expected, I'd say, although it's only by goal difference. Bristol City are finally on top of the Bristol and Gloucestershire Premier Division, 4 points ahead of Forest Green Rovers. MK Dons are top of the Buckinghamshire League ahead of Wycombe on goal difference. Peterborough lead the Cambridgeshire Premier Division with a 100% record, as do Cambridge, but Peterborough lead on goal difference. In Cheshire, Macclesfield are top on goal difference. There's a lot of goal difference going on at the moment, probably because half these teams haven't played each other yet. In Cornwall, Truro will be leading the way all season. They're already top by 7 points. In Cumbria, Carlisle lead the way by 3 points. Derby are top of the Derbyshire League by 5. Devon is led by Plymouth ahead of Tiverton and Exeter and Torquay. Bournemouth unsurprisingly lead the Dorset Premier League, as they are probably the only famous proper team in there, 6 points ahead of Dorchester, while in Durham, Hartlepool are topping the league with 31 points. Essex is led by Colchester by 2 points ahead of Braintree and 3 points ahead of Southend. Meanwhile, in Greater London, this is where it gets interesting. Apparently, Chelsea and Spurs don't have any form, which is strange. Chelsea top of the league, but they have lost a game to Arsenal, while Spurs and Crystal Palace, who are behind them with 26 points each, have not lost a game each, but have drawn twice, once against each other. Arsenal, they have played 10 games, so they've all played the same amount of games, no games in hand. which is surprising. Arsenal are 4th with 25 points, with their one defeat coming against West Ham, 1-0. West Ham down in 6th. It's all quite close there. It could be close all season, with Chelsea, Spurs, Palace, Arsenal, Fulham and West Ham. There's only 5 points between the top 6. Meanwhile, Dulwich Hamlet, Barnet and Welling holding on to those bottom 3 spots. In Greater Manchester, Man City and United obviously both top, and well, Man City have lost their 100% record. Who did they lose it to? I'm guessing it was against Man U. Yep, 2-1 they lost to Man U, so United could take the lead when they play their game in hand, which appears to be against Bolton. In Hampshire and the Isle of Wight, Southampton are top by 2 points ahead of Portsmouth, while in Herefordshire, the least surprising outcome here is that Hereford are top already by 13 points ahead of Westfields. And how many games do they have to play? So they've got another 14 games to play. So that could be a much higher points difference later on. In Hertfordshire, Watford lead Stevenage by 5 points, while in Kent, Gillingham are top by 6 ahead of Ebbsfleet. Lancashire, it's not as tight as I was expecting. Preston are actually top, 100% record, 30 points ahead of Blackburn in 2nd with 27 points, and Burnley, who are all the way down, in 3rd with 25. Burnley losing to Blackburn 3-1. So that's the turn up for the books. I was expecting Burnley to be top. In Leicestershire and Rutland, obviously Leicester are leading the way, 45 goals, and that includes a 9-0 win over Leicester Nirvana and a 7-0 win over Melton. In Lincolnshire, Scunthorpe are top with 31 points, Grimsby in 2nd with 28, Lincoln down in 4th with 27 points. All quite close though. It could be way different come the end of the season. In Merseyside, I'm expecting Liverpool to be top. Oh, what a surprise, they are top. They haven't even conceded yet, 10 wins out of 10. 59 goals scored, including 2 12-0 wins, one against Litherland, one against Lower Breck, and an 8-0 against Marine, plus 6-0 against Bootle in their last game. 59 goals scored. Everton also have 10 out of 10, but they haven't scored 59 goals, have they? And they've conceded 2. Who cares? In Norfolk, Norwich top of the league by 5 points ahead of Kings Lynn. Northampton lead the Northamptonshire League by 2 points ahead of Brackley. In Northumberland, Tweedmouth are still top on goal difference ahead of Blythe Spartans. Nottinghamshire is led by Nottingham Forest, 3 points ahead of Mansfield. In Oxfordshire, Oxford lead. They've finally reached the summit. Wantage were top last time out, but Oxford are now top by 5 points. Over in Shropshire, TNS are top by 2 points ahead of Shrewsbury, but Shrewsbury have a game in hand and will go top if they win that. In Somerset, Yeovil are top by 8 points ahead of Paulton Rovers. I think it is. It Paulton Rovers? Yes, it's Paulton Rovers. While in Staffordshire, Burton Albion are top by 3 points ahead of Port Vale, and then Stoke in 3rd. They've got a game in hand, but that game in hand won't catch up with Burton. So decent start for Burton Albion. In Suffolk, Ipswich expectedly are top by 2 points ahead of Leicester. Surrey, Woking are top by 4 points ahead of Walton Cowshields, and in Sussex, Brighton lead the way by 3 points ahead of Crawley by some chances. That Crawley loss against Brighton, yes, 2-1. Meanwhile, in Tyne and Wear, Newcastle are top by goal difference ahead of Sunderland. Warwickshire, Stratford are top by 6 points ahead of Nuneaton, which is surprising because Nuneaton and Leamington are probably the bigger teams there. Leamington, they got the badge, but Stratford, they got the points. And in the West Midlands, this one's tight at the top. Aston Villa top with 31 points. 2nd, Wolves with 29. Birmingham 3rd with 28, with goal difference ahead of Coventry, also on 28. Then West Brom and Walsall, very, very close in that league. Over in Wiltshire, Swindon top, unsurprisingly. In Worcestershire, Kidderminster lead, but they're 9 points clear already. And in Yorkshire, Leeds are top of the league, 30 points ahead of Huddersfield in 2nd, Sheffield United in 3rd, Rotherham in 4th, and Barnsley in 5th. And Middlesbrough and Sheffield Wednesday are also 6th and 7th with joint points with Barnsley and Rotherham. And then just below them, Hull and Bradford. So the top 9 are separated by 7 points. That's not bad, is it? And then pause if you want to know who's topping these ones. Not too much there. All the championships. I think Greater London probably got the biggest sides in there. Maybe the Yorkshire one. It's and then League One, League One, League One, League One, League One, League Two, the Greater London League Two, and the Greater London Conference. Whitton top of that. So Hillingdon probably the bottom side in all of England. Congratulations. In the FA Cup, some results leaking out in the 4th round, but nothing's confirmed yet. Not too much is confirmed yet. Have a quick flick through to see if we can see who the big teams are playing. So Arsenal have got Swindon, so that's a bit of a high up clash at this stage, and with half the non-league teams still in. Leicester, they're playing QPR, another quite big clash at this stage. West Ham playing Barnstable. Got Southampton Leeds. That's quite a decent game as well. Moving on, Everton have beaten Southport 4-0. Blackburn are playing AFC Liverpool, so there's still some bad teams in there. Spurs have got Cirencester. That could be a bit of a mauling. No, I'm sure Man City, Man U and Liverpool must still be in it, so I've clearly missed them. Oh, there's Man U, they're playing Tiverton. I'm going to have a quick flick through these games just to see if... Liverpool right at the top there, playing Kidderminster. And Man City can't be out already, so I'm going to find them. Or I'll just cheat. Actually, I can just click on there. On them there, can't I? They can't be out of the FA Cup already. FA Cup 3rd round. So they beat Gresley. And they got Chasetown. Well, that's not going to be hard for Man City, is it? No doubt I'll see it any minute now. But moving on to the League Cups. Quarterfinals in Bedfordshire. In Berkshire, it's a group stage. So I'll have a quick look there. Bristol and Gloucestershire, they're on that round. Semi-finals in Buckinghamshire. MK Dons v Wickham in the semis. Cambridgeshire, there. Cheshire, group stage. Yeah. Cornwall on the semi-finals. Cumbria were on the semi-finals. Quarter-finals in Derbyshire. Devon have got the quarter-finals. Semi-finals in Dorset. Durham, we've got a group stage. Essex, Greater London, we're on the 4th round there. Any big games? Arsenal playing Wimbledon. Chelsea playing Wealdstone. Where are Spurs? There they are. Dulwich Hamlet. So the 3 big London teams are still in there. Greater Manchester, Man United. Once they beat Rochdale, they got Bolton, and Man City have got to play Bury. You've got Ashton Athletics still in there in the Greater Manchester Championship. Hampshire and the Isle of Wight, they're on the 3rd round. Hertfordshire, Boreham Wood have already qualified in their group, and Hemel Hempstead have qualified in their group. Watford have not qualified in their group though. They've only played 1 game. In Kent, we're on the quarterfinals. Lancashire, they're on the quarterfinals, and that's surprising. There's not as many as the big teams as you'd expect. With Lancaster, Squiresgate and Colne in there, and some of them missing. No Accrington I see, and no. There's bound to be another team I'm missing there. In Leicestershire, they're on that round. Lincolnshire, quarterfinals. Merseyside, they're on the group stages. No one's through yet, so Liverpool have only played 1 game though. Norfolk, we're on the semis. Northamptonshire, the quarterfinals. And in Nottinghamshire, we're on the quarterfinals. Oxfordshire, group stages. And in Shropshire on the semi-finals. Quarterfinals for Somerset. Staffordshire, we're on the quarterfinals. Suffolk, quarterfinals. Sorry, that round. Sussex, that round. Tyneham Wear, quarterfinals. With Newcastle and Sunderland both still in it. Warwickshire group stage, they've only played 2 games, another 4 games left. I think no, 3 games left in there. In the West Midlands, that one. Semi-finals in Worcestershire, and in Yorkshire they've got that one. No, nothing's been drawn in that, and I think we're probably going to leave it there because we're already half an hour in, and well, we're only scratching the surface. On the next one, we'll see who's won the Club World Cup. We'll see how the World Cup qualifiers have been going and who qualified for the European Championships and how that draw's gone, and then we'll probably scream through all the other leagues, and hopefully we'll be done after that. Alright, till then, rock on and like and subscribe.